There is no doubt that creativity is the most important human resource of all. Without creativity, there would be no progress, and we would be forever repeating the same patterns. With this beautiful quote, a cheerful good afternoon to everyone present over here. I, Akshita Gautam, along with my creative team, is present over here to rejoice you with one of our creative presentation, a drama named The Face of It, from our supplementary reader, Vistas. First of all, I would like to introduce the creative mind behind this beautiful presentation. This event would not have been possible without the guidance and support of our beloved English teacher, Sir Lenin. I would also like to introduce the talented students of DPS who had put their effort in the following drama. Aditi Singh as Dairy's mother, Parth Sinha as Mr. Lamb, Anurag Lakra as Dairy, Akriti Chaudhary and Akshita Gautam as the narrator of the drama, and Raj Patel for the summarization of the drama.
This is a play, moreover, it is about the friendship between a young boy, Derry, and an old man, Mr. Lamb. Because of his facial scar, he is very upset and feels that people do not want to associate with him. So, to hide from people, he gets into the old man's garden but panics when he meets him. Mr. Lamb put him at ease and advises him to accept life as it comes. Also, he conveys Derry to live life to the fullest and avoid bitterness. He further advises him to accept life as it is. However, Derry was moved by Mr. Lamb's attitude and spirit. Besides, when Derry tries to come out of himself, he met a great loss of the only person who makes friends with him. The story starts with a teenage boy, Derry, who enters the garden. Due to an accident, when acid befell on his face and got burnt on one side, he was afraid of facing people, that's why he has gone there to hide, because other people tease him for having such a face. Upon entering the garden, he finds someone already present there. Hence, he tries to leave, but the old man, Mr. Lamb, stops him. Not arriving without permission, Derry feels guilty. However, Mr. Lamb welcomes him in his garden and tells him not to leave just because of his presence. People don't like his face, that's what Derry thinks, and that's why he wants to live. Then again, Mr. Lamb asks him to stay there, and after that, they start having a conversation that how no one likes Derry and how he hates people behaving like this with him. Also, Mr. Lamb attempts to console him. Mr. Lamb states to him that he has a tin leg and how kids make fun of him, yet he enjoys his life to the fullest. Their conversation went on and reveals various things about Derry's fear, hatred, and depression about being in such a condition. Also, Mr. Lamb keeps on telling him to think about positive things. Before long, they became friends, and Mr. Lamb asks Derry to assist him in plucking the crab apples of his garden. Derry states to him that he had come far from his home and hadn't told this to his mother. So Mr. Lamb asks him to take permission from his mother, but Derry finds it difficult. This leads to a small argument between both of them. Eventually, Derry agrees and tells Mr. Lamb that he would come back after taking permission from his mother. However, his mother does not want him to go, but he came back to fulfill his promise. In the meantime, Mr. Lamb climbs a ladder on his own to pluck the crab apples as he was sure that Derry won't return. Moreover, because of his disability, it was difficult for him to climb, so he slips from the ladder and dies. On the other hand, Derry returns to the garden to help him out, but on entering the garden, he sees him lying on the floor. Further, he attempts to move on, but didn't get any response from him. In the end, he came to know that he is dead and starts crying. On the face of its summary, the writer wants to say that we should never feel shame on our appearance, and also we should be positive and optimistic about ourselves. Thank you.
Scene 1 is set in the location which is Mr. Lamb's garden. One can occasionally hear the birds singing and the low sound of the tree leaves. Deary, a young boy, enters the garden hesitantly. When he comes out of the bushes, he is surprised to hear Mr. Lamb talking to him.
Mind the apples.
What? Who's that? Who's there?
Lamb's my name. Mind the apples, please. Crab apples, those are. Wind falls in the long grass, you could trip.
I there I thought this was an empty place. I didn't know there was anybody here.
That's alright, I'm here. What are you afraid of, boy? That's alright.
I thought it was empty. An empty house.
So it is. Since I'm out here in the garden, it's empty. Until I go back inside. In the meantime, I'm out here and likely to stop. A day like this, a beautiful day, not to be indoors.
I've gotta go.
Not on my account. I don't mind who comes in the garden. The gate's always open. You only climb the garden wall.
You were watching me?
I saw you, but the gate's open. All welcome. You are welcome. I sit here. I like sitting.
I did not come to steal anything.
No, the young lads still scrump the apple. You are not so young.
I just wanted to come in. Into the garden.
So you did. Here we are then.
You don't know who I am?
A boy, 13 or so?
14. But I've got to go now. Goodbye.
Nothing to be afraid of. Just a garden. Just me.
But I'm not. I'm not afraid. People are afraid of me.
Why should that be?
Everyone is. It doesn't matter who they are or what they say or how they look. How they pretend. I know. I can see.
See what?
What they think.
What do they think then?
You think he's a boy who look at me and then you see my face and you think that's bad. That's a terrible thing. That's the ugliest thing I've ever saw. You think a poor boy. But I'm not. Not poor. Underneath you are afraid. Anybody would be. I am. When I look into the mirror and see it, I am afraid of me.
No, not the whole of you. Not of you.
Yes.
Later on, when it's a bit cooler, I'll get the ladder and a stick and pull down those crab apples. They are ripe for it. I met Jelly. It's a good time of the year, September. Look at them, orange and golden. That's magic fruit. I often say, but it's best picked in, made into jelly. You could give me a hand if you like.
What have you changed the subject for? People always do that. Why don't you ask me? Why do you do what they all do and pretend it isn't true and isn't there? In case I see you looking and mind and get upset, I'll tell you don't ask me because you are afraid to.
You want me to ask? Say so then.
I don't like being with people, any people.
I should say, to look at it, I should say you got burned in a fire.
Not in fire. I got acid all down that side of my face and it burnt it all away. It ate my face up. It ate me up. And now it's like this. And it won't ever be any different.
No.
Aren't you interested?
You are a boy who came into the garden. Plenty do. I'm interested in anybody. Anything. There's nothing God made that doesn't interest me. Look over there. Over beside that far wall. What can you see?
Rubbish.
Rubbish? Look, boy, look. What do you see?
Just grasses and stuff.
Some call them weeds, if you like. Then a weed garden, maybe. There's fruit and there are flowers and trees and herbs and all sorts. But over there, weeds. I grow weeds there. Why is one green growing plant called a weed? and another flower. Where is the difference? It's all life, growing, same as you and me.
We're not the same.
I am old, you are young. You have got a burnt face, I have got a thin leg. Not important. You are standing there, I'm sitting here. Where's the difference?
Why have you got a tin leg?
A real one got blown off years back. Lemmy lamb, some kids say. Haven't you heard them? You will. Lemmy lamb, it fits. Doesn't trouble me, by the way.
But you can put on trousers and cover it up, and no one sees. They don't have to notice and stare.
Some do, some don't. They get tired of it. In the end, there's plenty of other things to stare at,
Like my face.
like crab apples, or the weeds, or a spider climbing up a silken ladder, or my tall sunflowers.
Things.
It's all relative, beauty and the beast.
What's that supposed to mean?
You tell me.
You needn't think they haven't all told me that fairy story before. It's not what you look like, it's what you are inside. Handsome is as handsome does. Beauty loved the monstrous beast for himself, and when she kissed him, he changed into a handsome prince. Only he wouldn't. He'd have stayed a monstrous beast. I
That way, no, you won't.
and no one will kiss me ever. Only my mother, and she kisses me on the other side of my face. And I don't like my mother to kiss me. She does it because she has to. Why should I like that? I don't care if nobody ever kisses me.
But do you ever care if you never kissed
What?
girls, pretty girls, long hair, large eye, people you love?
Who'd let me? Not one.
Who can tell?
I won't ever look different. When I'm as old as you, I'll look the same. I'll still only have half a face.
So you will, but the world won't. The world's got a whole face, and the world's there to be looked at.
Do you think this is the world? This old garden?
When I'm here, not the only one, but the world, as much as anywhere.
Does your leg hurt you?
Thing doesn't hurt, boy.
When it came off, did it?
Certainly.
And now? I mean, where the tin stopped? At the top?
Now and then, in wet weather, it doesn't signify.
Oh, that's something else. They all say. Look at all those people who are in pain and brave and never cry and never complain and don't feel sorry for themselves.
I haven't seen it.
And think of all those people worse off than you. Think, you might have been blinded or born deaf or have to live in a wheelchair or be daft in.
And that's all true, and you know it.
It won't make my face change. Do you know? One day a woman went by me in the street. I was at a bus stop and she was with another woman. And she looked at me and she said, whispered, only I heard her. She said, "Look at that. That's a terrible thing. That's a face only a mother could love."
So you believe in everything you hear then?
It was cruel.
Maybe not meant as such. Just something said within them.
I only heard it. I heard.
And it's the only thing that you ever heard anyone say?
Oh no, I've heard a lot of things.
So now you keep your ears shut.
You are peculiar. You say peculiar things. You ask questions I don't understand.
I like to talk, have company. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to stop here at all. The gate's open.
Yes, but
I have a hive of bees behind those trees over there. Some hear bees and they say bees buzz, but when you listen to those bees for a long while, they hum. And hum means sing. I hear them singing. My bees.
but I like it. I came in because I liked it. When I looked over the wall,
If you would have seen me, you would have not came in.
no,
No,
it have been.
that's not why.
I don't like being near people when they stare. When I see them being afraid of
You
me,
could lock yourself up in a room and never leave it. No, there was a man who did that. He was afraid, you see, of everything in his world. A bus might turn over him, or a man might breath deadly jumps onto him, or a donkey might kick him to death, or a lightning might strike him, or he might love a girl and the girl would leave him, and he might slip on a banana skin and fall, and people who saw him would laugh their heads off. So he went into his room and locked the door and got into his bed and stayed there
forever.
for a while. Then a picture fell off the wall onto his head and instantly killed him.
Hey,
You see,
but you still say peculiar things.
peculiar to some.
What do you do all day?
Sit in the sun, read books. You thought it was an empty house, but inside it's full of books and other things. Full.
But there aren't any curtains at the windows.
I'm not fond of curtains, shutting things out, shutting things in. I like the light and the darkness, and the windows open to hear the wind.
Yes, I like that. When it's raining, I like to hear it.
So you're not lost, are you? Not altogether. You do hear things.
They talk about me downstairs when I'm not there. What will he ever do? What's going to happen to him when we've gone? However, will he get on in this world looking like that with that on his face? That's what they say.
Lord, boy, you have got two arms, two legs, eyes, and ears. You have got a tongue and a brain. You will get out the way you want, like all the rest. And if you choose and set your mind to it, you could get on better than all the rest.
How?
Same way as I
Do
do.
you have any friends?
Hundreds.
But you live by yourself in that house. It's a big house too.
Friends everywhere. People come in. Everybody knows me. The gate's always open. They come and sit here and in front of the fire in winter. Kids come for the apples and pears and for toffee. Yeah, I make toffee with honey. Anybody comes, so
But
happy.
I'm not a friend.
Certainly you are. So far as I am concerned, what have you done to make me?
You don't know me. You don't know where I came from or even what my name is.
Why should it signify? Do I have to write all your particulars down and put them in a filling box before you can be a friend?
I suppose not. No.
You could tell me your name if you choose, and not if you don't.
Derry. Only it's Derek. But I hate that. Derry, if I'm your friend, you don't have to be mine. I choose that.
Certainly.
I might never come here again. You might never see me again. And then I couldn't still be a friend.
Why not?
How could I? You pass people in the street and you might even speak to them, but you never see them again. It doesn't mean they are friends.
Doesn't mean they're enemies either, does it?
No, they are just nothing. People, that's all.
People are never just nothing. Never.
There are some people I hate.
That would do you more harm than any bottle of acid. Acid only burns your face.
Only
Like a bomb only blew up my leg. There's worse thing that can happen. You can burn yourself away inside.
after I came home, one person said he'd have been better off stopping in there in the hospital. He'd be better off with the others like himself. She thinks blind people only ought to be with the other blind people and idiot boys with idiot boys.
And people with no legs altogether?
That's right.
What kind of world would that be?
At least there'd be nobody to stare at you because you weren't like them.
So you think you are just the same as all the other people with burnt faces? Just by what you look like? Ah, everything's different. Everything's the same, but everything is different itself.
How do you make all that out?
Watching, listening, thinking.
I'd like a place like this, a garden. I'd like a house with no curtains.
The gate's always open.
But this isn't mine.
Everything's yours if you want it. What is mine is anybody's.
So I could come here again. Even if you are out, I could come
Certainly,
here.
you might find others here. Of course. Well, that need not need to stop you. You need not mind.
I'd stop them. They'd mind me. When they saw me here, they look at my face.
They might not. You would have to take that risk. So would they.
No, you would. You might have me and lose all your other friends because nobody wants to stay near me if they can help it.
I have not moved.
No,
When I go down the streets, the kids shout, "Lay me lamb," but they still come into the garden, into my house. It's a game. They are not afraid of me. Why should they be? Because I'm not afraid of them. That's why not.
did you get your legs blown off in the war?
Certainly.
How will you climb on a ladder and get the crab apple?
There's a lot of things I have learned to do, and plenty of time for it. Yes, I've taken it steady.
If you fell and broke your neck, you could lie on the grass and die if you were on your
I
own.
could,
You said I could help you,
if you want to.
but my mother will want to know where I am. It's 3 miles home across the fields. I'm 14, but they still want to know where I am.
Yeah, people worry.
People fuss.
Go back and tell them.
It's 3 miles.
It's fine, evening. You've got legs.
Once I got home, they'd never let me come back.
Once you got home, you would never let yourself come back.
You don't know. You don't know what I could do
No, only you know that.
if I chose.
If you choose, I don't know everything, boy. I can't tell you what to do.
They tell me
Do you have to agree?
I don't know what I want. I want something no one else has got or ever will have. Something just mine, like this garden. I don't know what it is.
You could find out.
How?
Waiting, watching, listening, sitting here or going there. I have to see the bees, by the way.
Those other people who come here, do they talk to you? Ask you things?
Some do, some don't. I ask them. I like to learn.
I don't believe in them. I don't think anybody ever comes. You're here all by yourself and miserable, and no one would know if you were alive or dead, and nobody.
You think what you please.
Alright then, tell me some of their names.
What are names? Tom, Dick, or Harry? I'm off down to the bees.
I think you're daft. Crazy.
That's a good excuse. Good excuse not to come back. And you have got a burner face, and that's other people's excuse.
You're like the others. You like to say things like that. If you don't feel sorry for my face, you are frightened of it. And if you are not frightened, you think I am ugly as a devil? I am a devil. Don't you? No, you don't. I like it here. I am going, but I'll come back. You see, you wait. I can run. I haven't got a tin leg. I'll be back.
There, my dears, that's you, scene two. You know, we all know. I will come back. They never do, though. Not them, never do come back.
Scene 2, Dairy's house. And Dairy is talking to his mother.
You think I don't know about him? You think I haven't heard things?
You shouldn't believe all you hear.
Been told, warned. We have not been here for 3 months, but I know what there is to know. And you're not to go back there.
What are you afraid of? What do you think he is? An old man with a tin leg, and he lives in a huge house without curtains and has a garden. And I want to be there and sit and listen to things. Listen and look.
Listen to what?
Be singing, him talking.
And what's he got to say to you?
Things that matter, things nobody else has ever said. Things I want to think about.
Then you stay here and do your thinking. You are best off here.
I hate it here.
You can't help the things you say. I forgive you. It's bound to make you feel bad things. And say them. I don't blame you.
It's got nothing to do with my face and what I look like. I don't care about that, and it isn't important. It's what I think and feel and what I want to see and find out and hear. And I'm going back there only to help him with the crab apples. Only to look at things and listen, but I'm going.
You will stop here.
Oh no, because if I don't go back there, I'll never go anywhere in this world again. And I want the world. I want it. I want it.
Back at the garden, Mr. Lamb is on his ladder shaking a branch of the crab apple tree so that the fruits fall to the ground.
Steady. That is it. Got it. That's it. And again. That's it. And.
But suddenly his ladder falls back and Lamb crushes to the ground. Just then, Derry rushes up, stating that he has come back despite Mr. Lamb's doubts.
You see, I came back. You said I wouldn't, and they said. But I came back. I want it.
Then he sees Mr. Lamb's body and stops short.
Mr. Lamb? Mr.? You've. Mr. Lamb. It's alright. You fell. I'm here. Mr. Lamb. It's alright. I came back. Lay me, lamb. I did come back.
Derry kneels beside him saying, I came back, Lamby Lamb. I did come back. Derry starts to cry.